Hello, everyone, and welcome to Humbly My Brain, the podcast where I explore the fascinating worlds of history, economics, politics, philosophy, religion, and more, all through my unique lens. From commentaries on vintage newspaper stories and reflections on American principles and civic virtues to whatever sparks my curiosity, blended with a bit of geeky fun. I'm your host, and this is My Brain, eclectic, thoughtful, and always exploring. Today, we're diving into Passing the Baton of Liberty, honoring the founder's strides, flaws and all. Let's get started. It is a striking irony that many today scrutinize the words and deeds of the founding fathers, imperfect men navigating an imperfect world, and in their own imperfection feel entitled to dismiss or even despise the wisdom and efforts of those who laid the groundwork for a government designed to secure individual natural rights and uphold the law of liberty. The founders, though flawed, crafted a system rooted in timeless principles, the belief that liberty is an inherent gift to humanity, not a privilege bestowed by rulers, and that government exists to protect rather than to encroach upon it. Yet, modern critics, themselves far from flawless, cast verbal stones at these men, condemning their shortcomings while ignoring the monumental strides they made towards justice and freedom for posterity. Why do the imperfect of today believe they possess the moral authority to assail the sound principles and earnest attempts of those who wrestled with the dilemmas of their time? The founding fathers did not claim infallibility. They were products of their era, bound by its limitations, yet driven by a vision that transcended it. Their work was not a final solution, but a foundation, a starting point for future generations to build upon. To reject their contributions outright because of their personal failings is akin to spurning a half built bridge because the builders lacked modern tools. Consider the words of Jesus Christ in the Gospel of John when a crowd sought to stone a woman caught in adultery. He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Just as Christ challenged the self righteous to examine their own hearts before condemning another, we might ask today's detractors, what gives you, in your own imperfection, the right to scorn the founders' efforts to mend the errors of their age? The founding fathers were not saints, nor did they pretend to be. Thomas Jefferson, for instance, penned the soaring words of the Declaration of Independence: all men are created equal, while owning enslaved people, a contradiction that haunts his legacy. Yet, he played a direct role in ending the transatlantic slave trade in 1808 and supported Virginia's 1782 Manumission Act, enabling slaveholders to free slaves more easily, laying critical groundwork for gradual emancipation ideas. George Washington, too, held slaves, yet he led a fledgling nation to victory against tyranny, set a precedent of relinquishing power voluntarily, and most notably, freed his slaves in his will, leveraging the 1782 Manumission Act to set a powerful example for others. These men were sinners, yes, but their sins do not erase the wisdom they imparted or the systems they forged. To dwell solely on their flaws is to miss the forest for the trees, to ignore the enduring principles of liberty, justice, and self governance they championed amid a world of monarchies and despotism, passing the baton of liberty forward in a race toward justice. Rather than hurling stones, we should celebrate and proclaim the founders' wisdom while striving to go and sin no more ourselves. Their efforts can be likened to a relay race, where the baton represents the principles of natural rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founders ran their leg of the race with grit and determination, passing the baton to us, their successors. To sneer at their exertions or let the baton fall is to dishonor their labor and shirk our own responsibility. Instead, we must grasp it firmly and run our own race, not as solitary competitors, but as teammates in a shared endeavor. Winning this race, preserving and advancing liberty, demands teamwork, humility, and gratitude for those who ran before us. This is not to say the founders' work was flawless or beyond critique. Their constitution, for example, initially permitted slavery, a moral failing that required a bloody civil war and subsequent amendments to rectify. Yet, even here, their foresight shines through. They built a framework flexible enough to evolve, allowing later generations to correct its deficiencies. Our task is not to dismantle their legacy, but to refine it, to carry forward the baton of liberty with an eye towards justice for all. In doing so, we honor their imperfect strides while acknowledging our own capacity to stumble. Let us then cast aside our stones, pick up the baton, and run the race with purpose, grateful for the teammates who handed it to us and mindful of those to whom we will pass it next. That's all for today's episode on Passing the Baton of Liberty. I hope it sparked some curiosity or gave you a fresh perspective on the ideas we've explored. Thank you so much for joining me here on Humbly My Brain. If this conversation resonated with you, please give the video a like, leave a comment below with your thoughts, I love reading them, and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to dive deeper, check out my Substack at humblymybrain.substack.com for more writings. Until next time, keep exploring. This has been Humbly My Brain. Take care.